we did that like do other, maintenance type work. We don't take formal quote or formal bid, we just take request quotes from some contractor would work with. Carvin,
Dean, I got a no-soup boarding machine. All that. If you got anything else?
I don't.
All right.
Anything else on this? Board action.
I went down there again this morning and you said you were down there.
Yeah. There's a couple. There's a number of things, I guess, going on down there. This area that don't really show where the slope, where the water remains. This is north.
North.
Yeah, this is Deacon. And this is the paved road out south of it.
The Presbyterian Church is right there.
We went back and tried to pull out what we had in the files. There's been drainage issues down there, quite a while. I went back and told when the survey worked, when they got ready to pave that road there is a conglomeration of, well, at that time there was a conglomeration of tile lines up there, and what is all still there, I guess, we can do some research to find out. But basically, a lot of water comes off the farm down here. I mean, all this water comes and eventually tries to cross the road right down here.
Through surface or ditch or how's it work?
Well,
There's two pipes that go under the road. The east-west road, Dean? Yeah. Here's the church. Here's the cement road going south. And there's a pipe going under the road and goes down to the creek. But is that what this is? And then there's another one.
Dean, this drawing here shows much what you're drawing.
Yeah. And they both work. The problem is that, the one thing is, all these properties on the west side, like if you look at that aerial, there's driveways blocking the ditch. This water, the water on this side of the road should stay on this side of the road until the county gets rid of it. We got a problem because those driveways have different size pipes. Some of them are smaller than others. They're not near big enough to handle flows of water. It goes over some of the driveways, and at some point, everything that should be staying on this side of the road goes over there or compounds the load in this road ditch. Mike put a bigger culvert in last year. Bob's got two driveways. This is his main shop area there. This water is coming down here. You can't get through the driveway and comes out of the road ditch bank and goes into his property. There's a pipe, there's a drain and a pipe here that goes under the road and then outlets up here. And there's another one of those under the road structures with a grate block right there. So there's two, what are they, 36-inch pipe?
This is actually a 4x3 box here.
Yeah, but I mean, from there it goes into a pipe.
Twin, yeah, it goes into twin. In 1991, the county obtained easements from two landowners on the north side, and they replaced, apparently it was a 30 and a 24-inch culvert, concrete culvert in there at that time. It was failings, and they replaced them with twin 36s that come and tie into that existing box. There's still a concrete 4x3 box under the road, but it ties into these twin 36s that come up here and outlet.
So, what do you think the fix is? I mean,
Well,
if
here's the
you've
road
got
plan.
multiple, if you got multiple sizes here, and you're indicating that it's crossing, right?
Well, and back when this road was graded for paving, at that point, there was twin pipes coming across the road here. One was one was a 3.5 foot by 3 foot box, and then there was also a 48-inch concrete pipe coming across the road down here, taking the water, and there's actually a dike in the west ditch. It takes this water from the west side and it brings it in the east ditch.
Shoots it over there.
And, I mean, basically, the natural flow of the water, if you go out there and look, I mean, there's basically a hill over here, there's a high spot over here, you know, that water's gotta come down, you know, basically down where the road is, and then when it gets up here, the majority of water tries to hit for this 4x3 box over here. I think these pipes up here were added at one time to try to supplement or help, you know, first of all, try to take the water that's on the west side on across. But, I mean, that old pipe that's in there on the west side, according to this, is a 24-inch concrete culvert. The problem we got right down here is that the water has basically, I don't know if there was ever a waterway in there or not. There is not a waterway there now. The silt comes down and fills up this area behind the fence. There is a fence in place, so the fence is acting like a dike. And the water comes in there so fast right now that it runs over.
It shoots it to the other side immediately.
Well, it goes on the north side of this dike. It's actually bypassing. Instead of going into the ditch here and going through these pipes, a lot of it is getting around the dike and going through the fence row and coming down the road ditch here, which these pipes were never sized to take that water.
Driveways. Like there's black dirt on most of those driveways.
Yeah, there was silt. Well, then this one of these first driveways down here, it cut all the granular surfacing off right next to the edge of the road. There was about a 5-inch drop off for about 10 feet of the water.
So what's the least expensive way to, I mean, would the best proposition be to look at the dike and then upsizing the pipes here, or what are your options?
Well, I mean, to put it back the way it was when it was graded, you know, one thing that would be done is you'd rework this area down here to, Mike has supposedly talked to this landowner, and he's said he'd allow him to take part of that fence out, so the water, you know, can get into the road ditch, get into these culverts, and then built this dike back up to this portion, you know, on top of that dike out. Long term, what to keep the water coming to these pipes would be to build the dike up as high as the road, and then actually take the dike out into the field over toward this high spot in the field to keep the water from trying to go into the west ditch.
Well, don't you need to somewhat separate? I mean, you don't want all the flow on the east side. Aren't you having a better proposition to?
I think you're doing the wrong. That water, you know, the water on this side should stay on this side of the road for a ways, because this is overloaded now. That's why it's flooding all this commercial property. This ditch and this pipe that's going under the road can't handle that flow.
I mean, there is other water that comes. You know, we had complaints last year. That was part of the complaint we're getting too. Was some people up here were complaining about all the water. I mean, this water here basically comes from the south, and there's actually water coming from this way. It comes from this ditch too. But right now, this last rain, or last two, I guess I'm not sure. You know, the water can't get through all these culverts fast enough, so it basically just sheet flows across the road and